Hello everyone, unfortunately, my mic and audio output is trash, so I'll have to use text-to-speech for a while now. Anyway, as you have seen in the title of the video, we'll be powerscaling Makizenin and Toji Fushiguro. I don't want to waste any time, so let's start with pre-awakened Maki since she scales below Toji. I won't mention anything from JJK 0 since the only real feat we have is her killing a group of grade 3 to 2 in 2 strikes, but that's irrelevant, so to kick her scaling off we'll start off with inverse statements. Maki at the very least should be between small building level to building level, with Miwa stating that she'd have no trouble exorcising a grade 2 cursed spirit, and Mei said that she should have been graded as a grade 2 by now. Maki proceeds to easily outskill Miwa, with Miwa saying that Maki was crazy strong and that she would have killed her twice if her blade was exposed. Later in the Cursed Womb arc she is verbatim stated to be inferior to Yuji, which is directly stated by the narrator. However, this doesn't stop her from being physically comparable to him and superior to the rest of the students. Yuji himself acknowledges her as a tough fighter. Maki is later held on a triumphant pedestal as she becomes one of the 5 students at the end of the arc to be recommended to grade 1. Now since we're done with the statements, we'll start with her AP/strength feats and durability. Maki can hurt Hanami, who can materialize a tree with mass that is calc'd as class M, with force calc'd at class G consistently, that is shot up at subsonic plus to supersonic speed, and kinetic energy lowballed at multi-city block to multi-city block plus. However, this actually would only scale her around large building level at best, since this was done with the playful cloud, and since there was only minor damage dealt to Hanami, all the while holding back the whole time and eventually subjugated Maki, but her strike was complemented by Hanami herself. Which is actually a big deal, considering that same Hanami pushed back Megumi, Toji and Kamo Noritoshi with aura alone. Next, during the Shibuya incident, Maki along with Naobito Zenin and Kento Nanami, a special grade 1 and grade 1 sorcerer, were fighting with Dagon. She was able to effectively keep up with Dagon, however, Dagon recognized her as the weakest and, like her fight with Hanami, was forced to use the playful cloud, and only then was she able to actually fight a little bit on par with Dagon and actually warded off some of his Shikigami. So overall, pre-awakened Maki would scale around building level to city block level, normally hit her being able to hurt 2 of the special grade disaster curses. However, with playful cloud she should scale to city block plus and probably higher, since she fights not with jujitsu but through combat and physical attacks. Her AP and DC should theoretically be identical to her striking strength and durability via Newton's third law of every action has a reaction. Her lifting strength should be greater than Jiro Iwasaka's, who could lift Megumi's maximum elephant calc'd around class 5 all the way to class M. Now it's time for Maki's speed. Maki's speed is really ambiguous since she has one feat that truly overrides the Mach 3 allegations, which, speaking of Mach 3 allegations, this comment made by Gege Akutami himself on Weekly Shonen Jump issue #36 of 37 from 2022 confirms that Mach 3 is kinda weird. But anyway, back to Maki's speed. We don't have many travel or movement speed feats from her, but narratively speaking she should be anywhere from peak human to subsonic plus. For attack and combat speed it should be, rather than peak human being the lowball, it'd be superhuman and the highest being subsonic plus. Now for her reflexes and reaction speed. More so, reaction speed is really contentious because there have been so many calculations on this that it makes Algebra 1 and 2 look like child play, and because apparently, even though I couldn't find it myself, Gege Akutami said that Maki catching Mai's bullet, which is where 90% of her reaction speed comes from, is over-exaggerated. But like again, I don't know how true this is since I couldn't find this myself. Anyway, her lower end calcs for this feat is subsonic, the mid ends would be supersonic plus to hypersonic, and the higher ends would be hypersonic plus to high hypersonic. Thought it shouldn't matter too much since it's actually pretty equal throughout the showings in the manga. I'll go over their stamina and intelligence. Notice how I say there as in plural, because honestly both of them don't have impressive stamina, at least inverse-wise. Their stamina is consistent throughout the whole manga, staying around very high to superhuman. Down from Maki being able to survive a beating from Suguru Geto, a special grade, and Toji being able to stay conscious for many than a few minutes after getting half of his body atomized by hollow purple. For intelligence nothing really shows their true characterized intellect, however, we assume that they're probably at the lowest above average since she comes from both a prestigious and one of the three great families of the Jujutsu world, with her highest interpretation being gifted or genius as shown in the official student ranking. She scored a 7 out of 10 in academics. Toji's probably a bit higher since he's older, more experienced in life and in battle. But that's all for this, time to move on to Toji. From the previous scaling of Maki, as you all should know, Toji should already be building level to city block level and should have subsonic plus to high hypersonic speed. Let's start off with his speed first since it's the most impressive and notable in the whole series. Toji when first introduced is able to outmaneuver Gojo's perception, which can be calc'd between sub-relativistic to FTL. However, since these calcs were made from the Shibuya incident, you can easily claim that Teen Gojo is slower than adult Gojo. Even though Gojo's senses were dulled and Toji's has no cursed energy so Gojo couldn't sense him, it is still impressive that Gojo couldn't perceive him considering he has the 6 eyes. He was eventually able to overpower and kill Gojo and beforehand was able to outpace Gojo's maximum blue.
So that was a
how
lie.
impressive this is. Wait for my Gojo power scaling video, it's gonna be crazy, a grade 1 sorcerer at the time. Now narratively speaking Gojo is faster and stronger than Geto all around. Well, probably not stronger.
Nasty bitch, I don't know how the fuck you jumping my son, you little nasty ass nigga. Shut your little bitch ass up, you dirty bitch. Who the fuck is this long head ass, long jawbreaker looking ass nigga named Miss Mary?
Later, Toji goes for a round 2 with Gojo, and now this time Gojo actually outspeeds Toji at basically every category maybe except combat speed, but he far exceeds him to the point where everything looks like it's going in slow motion or at a standstill completely. Eventually Gojo kills Toji with hollow purple, a technique comprised of virtual mass also known as added mass, which moves faster than light.
Fast as fuck, boy.
Toji was able to perceive this attack, allegedly, but could not react to it. A little thing to note, this isn't even his peak. Also, if you want to scale him to subsonic plus consistently, you can scale him to his handgun he uses. Anyway, like I've mentioned a bit before, this isn't even his peak, as sorcerers I'd assume curses as well get stronger when in battle, and by explaining how their abilities work can actually amplify the attack and or effects that come with it. Now you're probably wondering, is this it? Is this his peak? No. If you stack all of what I said and placed it on top of Seance Toji, he gets even more powerful. In the Shibuya incident, Toji gets resurrected and is instructed to attack all sorcerers in the nearby area. With a single step, which was calc'd at subsonic plus, he killed Ogami. He'd also outspeed Naobito, who was stated by Dagon to probably be faster than Jogo. He then breaks into Dagon's domain and gives him a beating of a lifetime. Dagon fails to keep up or overpower Toji, as Dagon states that he gets faster as their fight progresses until Dagon is killed by Toji using the playful cloud. After turning Dagon into sashimi, he goes after Megumi. And like an abusive, alcoholic father, he starts pressing him for everything he got, and even faces off against him with his escape rabbits. He slaughters every last of the rabbits, which was calc'd at sub-relativistic, which apparently according to comments is wank, but I don't know, I don't calc myself. But yeah, that's all for his peak speed time. Now for his DC, AP, strength and durability feats. For AP, I'll just recap what you should already know. Toji is blatantly shown to be physically superior in comparison to a young Gojo. That gap would be even greater when using weapons. He subjected a young Geto and was fully capable of killing him. Slashed apart Geto's cursed spirits, including the rainbow dragon, the cursed spirit with the hardest skin out of Geto's spirits. Fought Dagon, and used playful cloud and destroyed his Shikigami and even his stronger ones, and exorcised him via continually stabbing him. In an interview with Gege, he stated that Toji's capable of becoming the family head of the Zenin family because of his strength. It was the same way for Naobito. In other words, Toji's strength is greater than or equal to Naobito Zenin, a special grade 1. In his fight with Megumi, he said that his Shikigami are no match for him. If we take this literally, then Maharaga can be the same case. Inverse-wise, he should outscale Mekamaru, who can create blasts calc'd at small town level, and with his win against Dagon, mind you Dagon was in his very own domain at the time of his defeat, Toji should scale to island level, but with Dagon's island calc it could be downscaled to mountain level. However, the fully form of the island has yet to be seen as a whole, so I'd take this with a grain of salt. He very likely surpasses Jogo, who created a mountain in his domain expansion, which was calc'd at Large Mountain. And that is essentially where his AP stops at. However, you can get him higher inverse-wise. At his strongest he could quantify as a special grade, probably with special grades stated by Kenjaku himself, to be able to single-handedly overthrow a nation. This can be even higher, with Toji scaling to Dagon since they are superior to him, with Dagon who is strong enough to create an island and a star. Now if you're wondering, Dagon doesn't scale to his domain. The star isn't real, it's a project. I'll get to that in a bit, but first I'm going to go over Toji's destructive capacity. For Toji's destructive capacity, he'd be consistently building level to city block and possibly multi-city block. We don't have many feats from Toji besides causing chaos in his fight with Megumi and destroying Geto's Rainbow Dragon. However, this can get higher with Toji scaling equal Awakened Maki, but besides that his striking strength should scale equal to his AP and DC, which would be multi-city block to mountain or island level, and can be argued to even star level. However, this would be with Playful Cloud specifically. Without Playful Cloud it'd be building to multi-city block. Meanwhile, Toji's lifting strength should be superior to Maki's and Yuji's at this time, ranging from Class 5 to Class M and possibly Class G, however Class M should be consistent as he's arguably stronger than Jogo. And that's essentially it for Toji. Now time for the star level explanations. Now I know these may be not so perfect, but these are my reason for the star level scaling. Now if you're wondering, do characters scale to their domain expansions? Well, here's my explanation. Domain expansions don't just simply send you to another plane of reality or teleport you into another world. Domain expansion is a technique where space is created and area is occupied from cursed energy shown in these scans. So in other words, you create an area occupied specifically with your own cursed energy, which is completely unique of everyone else's, that you have complete control over, and manifest it from your mind into the real world. Everyone in JJK has an innate domain. However, to actually manifest that domain into the real world is via a curse technique, domain expansion. Innate domains exist in your mind, so theoretically domains can change based on your mental environment and condition, and we know this isn't something that can be abused or shifted automatically, manually, or simply, since you must realize your own domain. The biggest debunk for this argument is that everything is animated, meaning that everything in the domain is virtual. This is true, however, in the context of this. What was being discussed was between Yuji and Kusakabe about Sukuna's shrine in his malevolent shrine domain expansion being the source of his domain. Kusakabe then says this. In other words, things inside of the domain has no real value to being the domain's origin of power. Even so, if everything in a domain was virtual, then when in Dagon's domain during the Shibuya incident, why was Maki, Naobito, Nanami, Toji able to stand on Dagon's island and able to get wet from the ocean and interact with the water? Now if you're wondering, did Dagon actually have a sun in his domain? Then I'll answer that too. The sun is very likely not a projection, since a domain expansion is the creation of anything and everything that is from your innate domain. Domain expansions can be infinite in size via statements in the JJK anime guidebook and a description of Mahito's domain expansion, however. And as for the island, I don't see why this wouldn't be the case, as island level refers to that of an island itself, not anything on or makes up an island, and the closest calc we have to this island is mountain or mountain plus. However, these calcs in itself are a flaw. Now time for Awakened Maki. Maki is consecutively said and shown to be equal to Toji. She slaughtered many grade 2 and lower grade curses in an instant. Went band for band with Oji, then bifurcated his sword, then once she awakened, she cut Oji's head in half. She slaughtered the entirety of the Kakuru unit and very casually dispatched High, which is composed entirely of sorcerers semi-grade 1 and above. Parry strikes from Naoya and one taps him with a single punch. Could wound Cursed Womb Naoya and slash off Cursed Spirit Naoya's arm, then threw him with a kick and a punch. Sumo wrestled with Rokujushi Mayo and would devoured him in a head-on fight. She was scrapping against 15-finger Sukuna alongside Yuji, though Megumi was suppressing Sukuna below 10% cursed energy output. This easily cements her in the large town to city level ranges of strength. Both are possibly special grade, and from that fact should both be at around small country to large country, as special grades are able to single-handedly overthrow a nation, at least small country. I forgot to add this, but their combat speed should be massively hypersonic. They would be faster than Nanami, who can dodge Mahito's attack this fast. This is essentially the end of the video. Also, before I end it all, in the description is a Toji and Maki doc I made for their scale, so if you want to check it out and give feedback, go ahead. Speaking of feedback, if y'all want to discuss, I'll drop my Discord tag in the description, and if you have any questions I can answer those in the comments. And that's about it, so ye.